Hey Jay, what's up? Tony Morrow here, diehard Star Wars fan. Not. I'll try to keep this video short so I can actually send it to you so I can include everything. I'll just say this quickly. Star Wars was never dead during the prequel era. I'm older than you. When the prequels came out, I mean, you've seen them now, and I'm sure you're iffy about them, but I'm sure you're thinking that they're a lot better than the sequel trilogy. But during the time when they came out, I'll keep it quick. Episode one was just like, all right, that was something. We liked the pod racing, we liked the lightsabers, we loved the music. It's just everything else. We were just like, okay. And then episode two, slower pace, the action I didn't think was as good. Natalie Portman was hot though, and the storytelling was a little bit better, a little bit more focused, but it was still just like we don't know what Lucas is trying to do with the prequels. And then episode three came out, and it was a much better movie. It's the best of the three. It's actually a decent Star Wars movie now, watching it to this day. But like at the time, it was better, but it was just kind of like it was still very iffy. Although I hear the book was great. But you know what Star Wars did have during the prequel trilogy. So yeah, say what we said things about Lucas. Just he's not the right guy. The movies were iffy, but the Star Wars products, Star Wars was not even close to dead. Just because the prequels were problematic, the toys, the games, the shirts, all the merchandise during the prequel era, from like whatever it was 2002, I would say, because that's when like we got like games based off of the movies. We got Knights of the Republic in 2003, which I played at the time, but I didn't like RPGs at the time. I'm playing it now on the Switch, and I love Knights of the Old Republic. Even the sequel, super addicted to that game. It makes me love RPGs more. But at the time, but that was like one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars product since the original trilogy. But we had so many good toys and shirts and hats and other cool merchandise during the prequel era. Say what you will about the movies, but the merchandise was everywhere and it was awesome. We were so optimistic about Star Wars, even though the prequels just had us think if we got just a better director, better writer, Star Wars could be incredible. Because, we got Clone Wars, we got Rebels, we got some good TV shows and whatnot, but the products outside of the prequel movies were incredible. Maybe the best era for Star Wars in general, just because Star Wars really popped during the prequel era. Those, whatever it was, 7, 8 years. The toys and everything were just awesome. And then, cut to now, like we thought Star Wars was in good hands with Force Awakens. We thought Disney was going to do some great things. Galaxy's Edge, which I still like Galaxy's Edge, by the way, but like that was being built right after Force Awakens did well. Unfortunately, by the time of Rise of Skywalker, we were just less and less interested, obviously, but Galaxy's Edge came out prior to that, now with what's going on with Star Wars, it is just the say what you will about the sequel trilogy. At least they looked and felt like big event popcorn spectacle movies, as they should be, as Star Wars should be. But now it's just nothingness. But Star Wars was never destroyed during the prequel era. It was massive, even the biggest it's ever been. Now you barely see any products for. I was just in Orlando 2 weeks ago, Universal and Disney, but Disney specifically at Disney Springs at Hollywood Studios. Yeah, you see a shopping bag with Mandalorian and Grogu. You see collectibles, but it's not plastered all over Disney as it was probably during Force Awakens, which I wasn't there for. And I'm sure during the prequel era, I'm sure Star Wars was fucking everywhere at Disney probably. But I barely saw much for Mandalorian and Grogu. Just 2 weeks ago, prior to this movie coming out, I barely saw anything. So Star Wars is an embarrassment. It is so dead right now. Not during that prequel era, but for now, right now, it's dead in the water.